Good evening, everybody. Alright, it is 6:02. We're gonna go ahead and call today's meeting to order. It is July 30th, Thursday. We are here for an Ogden Valley City Council special meeting. We are at our anchor location, the Huntsville Town Hall in their council chambers. Our meeting is also available for electronic participation via Zoom. We will start with a real quick roll call. We've got a full house today. We've got all council members, Councilmember Hickman, Booth, and Shaw, Councilmember Hoagland, and Julie Baker, all present in the room. I am Mayor Wamplers. Our staff is here. We've got a custody reporter and IT director as well. All right, if everybody will please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and its republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We'll follow that with a moment of silence. Thank you. All right, we will start tonight's meeting as we do with all of our public meetings, and that is with our public comment section. We're going to ask that we're going to start with people in the room and then we'll go online. When people are in the room, if you wouldn't mind coming up basically in line with the front row in the middle aisle, state your name, your address for the record. We ask that you keep your comments between 2 or 3 minutes so that there's quite a few people so that people can all get a chance to talk. Again, 2 to 3 minutes can really add up. So if someone's already said exactly what you plan to say, maybe you come up and give your name and say ditto or reinforce that, but not give the exact same speech. And then keep, I'm assuming I know what people are here to talk about, but maybe not. So please keep whatever comments germane to the business of the city itself, things that we can actually affect for you. And then we will go from in the room to online. And I just want to note for the people online, the community chat is disabled. But if you wish to give public comment, you are more than welcome to just raise your hand and Kathy will unmute you at the appropriate time and we'll be able to take your public comment at that time. So if we want to get started, anyone is welcome. Just come on up in line with the front row. Yes, sir.
Are these comments that are not on the agenda?
Sorry, no, and I think I took it off. I took it off the agenda because I strike it every time verbally. Yes, no, you can speak about anything you'd like. You may talk about what's on the agenda or anything else that is germane to the city itself.
Will there be time to comment on the items that are on the agenda?
Right now is the perfect time. This is the section for public comment and it can be things that are on the agenda or not on the agenda. Hopefully, as long as it's pertaining to the city itself. So anything you'd like to talk about?
Well, I guess I have a comment. That is on the agenda.
Yes, that's why I took that. I took that restriction off so that people could come in and.
Sadly,
Come
I and Amy Blatter.
And anybody that wants to comment, can you come to stand right where he's standing? That way we'll catch you on the camera and catch your face instead of the belt.
Yeah, usually works. First of all, my name is Jim Bird. I'm from a city.
Yes.
Well, I think you're going to decide which city. Unincorporated Huntsville right now. In Ogden Valley, so I'm a proud member of both. That's quite nice, I think. Also, I need to really say is that I've been following this council and you as a mayor. And I would like to speak just briefly on the taxes. And that is because if people would donate the amount of money you should be paid, we wouldn't have any taxes. I mean, you guys really work an enormous amount of hours and I'm really appreciative of that. Okay, so My name is Jim Bird, and my request is simple. I think most of you know what it is. Please select a name that is inclusive of the entire valley. Ogden Valley does that, though I recognize it carries baggage for some residents because of the association with Ogden City, and I want to address that. Ogden Valley is not the only name that can be inclusive. Whether this is called Ogden Valley, Eden, or anything else, I will tell people I live in Huntsville. My neighbors in Eden will still say they live in Eden. People in Nordic Valley will still say Nordic Valley, etc. Now, local identity runs deep. Various areas were settled and named by families whose relatives still reside here. Our local identity predates incorporation and outlast any name changes. So the real question is not which name people use day to day. They'll use the names they've always used. The question is, what does the official name say about who we are together as one community? An inclusive name answers that well. One that encompasses all of our communities without elevating one above the others. Eden, as wonderful a community as this, is one place within a larger whole. Naming our city after it implies that Eden is a city and the rest of us are simply in it. That may not be the intent, but that is the effect. Residents of Huntsville, Liberty, Nordic Valley, and Wolf Creek would find themselves living in a city named after somewhere else. The same concern applies to Pineview. The reservoir does not touch Liberty or Nordic Valley, and it does not represent the valley as a whole. What puzzles me is that most names submitted are variations on existing place names: Eden, Eden Valley, Pineview, Ogden Valley. That feels like a missed opportunity. If residents are uncomfortable with Ogden Valley, the council and possibly the community has an extraordinary chance to choose something entirely fresh. There are names from history, like Trappers Valley, from mythology, like Valhalla, or from classical condition, like Elysian Valley, drawing on the Greek concept of a place with perfect peace and natural beauty. Names that carry no geographic baggage or local favoritism. A name that belongs to everyone equally. We became a city just 6 months ago. We're still figuring out what it means to be one community, and that is exactly the moment to choose a name that reflects that shared identity. Which brings to me my one lingering question. Why the hurry? The name chosen now will be with us for generations. Surely a few more months of deliberation and a broader, more creative search is worth it. Thank you very much.
Yes. Yes.
If I stand still there for a minute.
You don't need to stand. If you don't
Oh,
want
yeah.
to.
You're already in the front.
But I want to be on camera. Okay, let me see. Am I getting close to it?
You're going to see it.
That's fine. I don't usually use iPhones or the stage, but anyhow, thank you for the opportunity. I feel very strongly about this, and all of you do, and that's what's so great about this place, is passionate.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. I know who you are. Can you state your name and your address?
Most everyone knows who you are. Just state your name.
Oh, yeah, John Burroughs from Eden. Eden's a place, but it's also something very profound in the world, not just here. We get to look at that. We have a lot of names like Pineview, we have a lot of names like Mountain Valley. They're great ideas, but they don't hold up with the rest of the world. I just traveled to Colorado. I tried something out. Instead of saying I'm from Eden, Utah, I said I'm from Eden Valley. So the conversation will go like this. Hi, this is at the airport, train, planes, my kids, everything. Where are you from? Nebraska? And, oh, nice. Anyhow, I go, where are you from? And I'd say Eden Valley, Utah. Well, where's that? I said, well, it's north of Salt Lake. I was testing. And they would go, sounds like a great place.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Eden is a name, I'm not looking for some hoovers here because of, I live in Eden. That's not what this is all about. This is about the name of the town. It sums up the entire macro situation we're in here. It's beautiful here. It's incredible. That's why it's Eden. It's not Pineview, which is man-made. We don't own the sympathetic bows to the Indians. We could never appease everything we owe them just by naming our town after an Indian. It would be blasphemous to them. And the same, we shouldn't be so historically tied into the idea that it has to be Ogden. I can't trap a fever. I don't know 99%. If you can, if you can, let me know because I catch you. Anyhow, I said that, and not to mention city or Ogden, just plain old Eden. It travels well. if you were in Switzerland, you could say, I'm from Eden Valley. And they would know, Eden Valley, immediately, image. It's a hook in a song, it really is. Don't worry, Hunts Upon Liberty. The name Eden could have been picked out of the air if you just stare at that valley's beauty. So there's nothing possessive about it. I don't want to name Eden because I live there. That has nothing to do with it. But the meaning of Eden will always give us something to aim for so we don't forget where we live. We can preserve this place and keep it going beautifully. Eden simply describes the incredible place much better than trying to make it historically significant or rooted in sentimentality. I will dedicate my song to the town. We would be the only town in America with its own anthem. And if people say, what's it like in Eden? Say, listen to the song. So can I do that?
Yes, we're gonna.
Okay, I've got.
We'll play some of
I
it.
hope I find it, I'm not good at this stuff. You see, I'll play part of it so you get the whole idea.
Okay.
We get out of here. Come on, dun dun dun. Stand by. I know I'm on the clock, I watch that. Sorry. We'll, and it all mute up too. It's maybe not gonna happen right now. Doesn't wanna cooperate, but if it does cooperate, then I'll come up.
Yeah,
All right.
we'll let other people speak.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Is there any way that, I don't know, maybe it's just me that can't hear? Is there any way they can come back here and speak in front of everybody?
The problem is that the camera and microphone are up here.
You move the camera?
Well,
I'm the only one that can't hear.
hang on, we're looking for an alternative.
Can I suggest to everyone, maybe they can stand sideways.
Volunteered.
We have a mic in here. Let's see it real quick. Well, John has the first one.
Right, yeah, no, I'm just looking for your song, looking for my.
People can move their chairs up front. A reporter just suggested. Come on in. We can put in at least another row right here for anybody that needs. People need some stuff to hear.
Janet, I found it.
Okay, perfect. You wanna go ahead and stand here, and play, if you have the owl, then people online will get it.
Yeah, I'll do other things.
I'm sure. Oh, they have it. All right, well, they get another row set up, Ms. Burrows is gonna play part of his song for the album, so that people online can hear what he is.
This is something that I wrote, anticipating with renaming Valley. It works for the number of different names, so I'm not looking for something to put credit or anything like that. It's called Eden Valley in this version, a number of other things. But here's a recording that we did, and here we go. It's only gonna be amplified through there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cause them.
That's all right, you wanna be sure, it's heard.
There's like I would say, you know, I'm reading this day. You already said.
Yeah, so but it's not, are we good? What was that? Okay, I'd like to give you back one of those start. Don't be there, man.
I know, I hear about 50,000 people singing at a birds parade.
Right?
Yeah, stage before.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, here we go, here, people. We're gonna get this back in order. Mr. Rose has found his song. We're gonna be setting up a speaker in the meantime. And he's gonna play a few bars of the song for us, so we have an
I'm
idea.
gonna give you just 2 minutes of it. It's 3 minutes long, right? It's called Eden Valley. It could be Ogden Valley, it could be Pineville Valley, it could be your valley, whatever, but here we go. All right, I wish I could show you the video because it goes with the video.
Some snowy beach. Grab the frost. The valley sweeps. Quiet streams of we home for hawkers.
Hold on. That's all right, so we get the collection.
And ready.
Thank
Here
you
you
very
go.
much. All right. Anyone else would like to come up and say? Yes, sir. Come on up, state your name and your address.
Hi, I'm Lane Rubin, 3657 North Foothill Lane in Eden. I just want to say ditto to John's suggestion of Eden Valley. We have a theme song already and it's a beautiful name and I'll stop there. It's kind of short.
Thank
Judging.
you. Residuals. Anybody else? And I'll just say again, we're gonna stay with people in line in the room first, and then we'll move over to online. So anybody online, we are here. Right where you are.
Hi, guys, Tina Allred, PO Box 64, Eden, Utah. This is gonna be a little rough because I didn't have time to polish it up. Today hasn't been a good health day for me, but I'm here because I think it's so important. What I'm holding in my hand here, I don't have enough hands. This is a copy of a book called Remember My Valley. It's written by Laverne Burnett Newey. Her family was the ones that donated the Burnett Springs to Eden. And I'll talk about this in a minute, but let me just start out. Sorry, when you get my age, you have multiple props. So in my opinion, naming Ogden Valley City anything other than Ogden Valley would be misleading and impractical. Our city boundary already covers nearly the entire traditional Ogden Valley. I've heard the argument made that, well, there's other parts of the Ogden Valley that aren't in the city boundaries, but I did the math and it's around 85% of what most people would consider the Ogden Valley. And so it should stay Ogden Valley. It includes Eden. Whatever name we choose for the city effectively becomes the name for the whole valley. And the name doesn't even need to include city. I know a lot of people don't like that. We could drop that word entirely if it feels too urban for a rural valley. I would agree with that. Ogden Valley has carried the name since Peter Skeen Ogden trapped here in 1825. Laverne Newey's book, Remember My Valley, shows that it's been the valley's identity for nearly 2 centuries. This is not a history that we should take lightly. Renaming the city would erase that living history and break the direct link to our trapper heritage. Keeping Ogden Valley preserves what this place has always been called. Future generations trying to learn about the valley's history would be deeply confused by a different city name. They'd find Ogden Valley on old maps in Laverne Newey's book and in every historical record, yet see a different name on the city itself. Keeping Ogden Valley City avoids the confusion and keeps our heritage clear and intact. We also have Trappers Loop Road, Trappers Ridge Neighborhood, Trappers Crossing Subdivision, Trappers Village, and we could build on this with an annual Mountain Man Rendezvous and events and old world skills, drawing thousands of visitors, much like the Fort Bridger Rendezvous does every year around in September. This would bring much needed revenue to the city. And the other thing I'd like to address is the health and safety. First responders for years have called this the Ogden Valley. If we change it to something else, if we said, let's say we call it Eden Valley. Well, let's say the emergency is in Liberty, the far end of Liberty. So they show up in Eden and they're in the wrong place. So that's going to be very confusing for first responders. Right now on Pulse Point, which is it's a third-party app that shows you all the emergencies happening. They're referring to this as Ogden Valley City right now. So the dispatchers have had to get used to, calling it instead of the Upper Valley, Ogden Valley City. We're just going to create more confusion. And if something like that were to happen, that it could put lives at risk and property at risk. Sorry, I lost my place. Thank you. So people complained about the poll that it allowed multiple submissions, and I can testify that that's true. I made multiple submissions under choosing different names of the city to see if I could. Now we're being told by the Weber State people that they're only looking at one IP address. So if you made multiple submissions from one IP address, then they weren't counting all the others. So my question is, which one of my votes did they count? The other thing that we're not taking into consideration is VPNs. If you get a VPN, you can have several different IP addresses and it will look like several separate submissions. So this is a flaw in that system, and the results could be easily skewed because of that. So it's not foolproof by any means. A motivated group of activists could leverage that vulnerability. There's multiple businesses and groups that carry the name of the Ogden Valley name, including the Ogden Valley News, Ogden Valley Business Association, Community Foundation of Ogden Valley, the Ogden Valley Land Trust, popular Facebook groups that have the words Ogden Valley in them. If we choose the name Eden anything, it's going to make massive confusion for the water company that I represent. And although I'm not representing them in an official capacity today, what's going to happen is if we name it Eden anything, people are going to automatically think that Eden Waterworks covers water for the whole valley. That's going to put an inordinate amount of stress and extra work on my administrative assistant.
We're gonna give you.
I'm almost done. I've got one more paragraph. Okay. Yeah, it's an unfair burden to put on a small company. So should we decide to change the name, I think it's something that needs to be neutral. I think the best recommendation I've seen is the word Pineview. We all share the Pineview Reservoir, Pineview Dam. It's a name that each of us is invested in without co-opting the name of one small community and using it for the entire valley. So my recommendation is to leave it alone. Leave it as Ogden Valley, preserve the legacy that it's held for nearly 200 years. But if you feel like you've got to change it, kind of use your logical choice.
Anyone else from inside the room?
Name, address, is that what?
Yes, we
Okay, Jason Baker, 8803 Mountain Valley Drive. Here in Huntsville, or unincorporated Huntsville, or the Valley. I think we're gonna split hairs here. We're gonna be here to the end of time to please everybody, and then everybody still won't be totally stoked. And I agree. I appreciate the historical nature and history of Ogden Valley. I understand Eden Valley. It can grow on me. But growing up in Liberty, there's been very distinct boundaries and cultures and depending on where you were in the valley. And with that, I apologize, I don't have my thoughts fully put together here. And I do want to say thank you to Victoria and Edith for all the work that they put in, because I know they spent countless hours. And I chimed in a little bit, and I've just been kind of watching from the side. And I think if we do move forward with a new name from Ogden Valley, that Valley, Utah should be considered. A few reasons why I think Valley, Utah is strong, it's bold, and it's simple, which is kind of a trend of modern marketing, is bold, simple, and it breaks down those barriers that I think traditionally have been a part of the Valley culture. No matter where you go in the country, people are going to ask where you live. And no matter what, you're probably going to have to explain where that is. It doesn't matter what it's called. Where are you from? Valley, Utah. And we've got some big rivals in that realm. If you consider Salt Lake Valley, Utah Valley, Cache Valley. And in my opinion, none of those can put a finger on what we have here in Ogden Valley. And so I think it's distinctive. It is a conversation starter when they say, well, you know, when people ask you where you live, it's Valley, Utah. And if you want to go old school and you say Ogden Valley, to keep this place a best kept secret, as I've done all my life, then you say Ogden Valley, and people naturally assume that you live in Ogden, and it keeps this place a special little secret. And there's nothing wrong with that. Worst case scenario, you say you live in northern Utah, you live in the mountains of northern Utah, you live in the mountains east of Ogden. It doesn't really matter, but I'm a proponent of simplicity. Valley is already part of it. If you're in Weber County, and you say that you live in the valley, people know exactly where you're talking about. Anywhere else, nobody knows. You can ask me, you know, somebody can say that you live in Linden, Utah, and I have no idea where that is. Roosevelt, Richfield, it's all the same. So anyways, Valley, Utah.
Thank you. Anyone else from inside the room? This month.
Joe Donovan, Eden. Sorry about that, folks. Ditto to pretty much everything that's been said here. The reason that Eden works for me is because it's a brand. Everyone knows Eden. Growing up in any type of a Christian religion, you know the Garden of Eden. We have friends in Switzerland that live in Engelberg, one of the most beautiful valleys in the world. When I say Eden, even though Swiss German is their language, they don't speak English, immediately, what a beautiful name. And this was before any naming issues came up versus Ogden Valley. So that's it, Matt.
Anyone? 'Cause Anyone else in the room? If you wanna take another minute, we can jump online. Kathy, are there any hands up?
No, not at this time.
Okay. I will let this sit for another 30 seconds or so in case somebody's just working out their nerves and wants to get up. You can talk about anything you want. Got a lot of things going on in this brand new city, so the floor is open. Yes, sir.
Well, because enough trouble so far. My name's Larry Rigby. We live at 3141 North River Drive in Eden. I'd like to put in a plug for something other than Ogden Valley. I don't think, I mean, I've been reading in the paper and a few things about people living in Eden that might take offense if it's named Liberty. I mean, I live in Eden and I think Liberty is a beautiful name. In this day and age of being offended and inclusive, and I don't think that's an issue. If you have an issue with that, then you know there's some other problems out there someplace. But we have Ogden, we have North Ogden, we have South Ogden. I just have always, we've only lived here 25 years, so I've always felt like we're not Ogden's little sister. You know, I think there are new cities formed every day, and they get new names, and people get used to it. I think for those in this room and our generation, if somebody asks us where we live, we're going to say Huntsville, or Eden, or Liberty, or Nordic Valley, or whatever. I love all those names, but I have a slight heartburn with Ogden Valley. I think we're a brand new city. We're fresh. We're new. We all know the names of the places, the Eden, the Liberty. Pine View is a beautiful name. I'd like to get away from being, I mean, I love Ogden. It's just over the hill. It's just another place, not Ogden. We're the valley. I like the valley, but I would probably throw my hat in the ring for Eden Valley, or one of the other beautiful cities, or I mean, places here that we have in the valley. Thanks.
Thank you.
I'll make it quick. My name is Dave Martin. But, oh, thank you. And make it so you can hear as well. I am a strong proponent of keeping the name Ogden Valley. For reasons of, not that I don't appreciate the Herculean efforts of these women here and trying to survey and sample the community for other choices. But I think there will be a lot of unintended consequences changing the name, as much as those who don't like it for whatever reason. Ogden Valley was first 25 years before Ogden City. And I think that's significant. But there will be, as Tina said, I think there's going to be a lot of unintended consequences that will cause cost for people. We're already bearing some extra costs here, as you've made us aware, and we appreciate your efforts as well to get out from underneath that. But I would just like to say that, again, I think Ogden Valley is the way to go on this.
Edith Songer. I live in the South Fork area of unincorporated Huntsville, which is now part of the city. I just want to point out that the name Ogden Valley is not touchable. We can't actually change the name of the valley. It's not part of the city's purview to change the name of the whole valley. The whole valley, including Huntsville town, is Ogden Valley. And whether or not that changes in the future, it's just going to be a common usage question, because it's been a common usage question. The city has only existed for 6 months. And whether or not the city is called Ogden Valley or Eden doesn't change, or Pineview, doesn't change the fact that the whole valley is called Ogden Valley. So those of you who are worried about losing history, you don't have to. If the city's called George, it would still be the city of George, and the town of Huntsville in Ogden Valley.
My name is Bart Rager. I live at 805 East on the south in Huntsville. I wasn't gonna speak, but Edith. You cannot stamp the name over a valley and say the name still exists. You're stamping the name over a valley. There's going to be damages.
Anyone else from inside the room? And anybody online, maybe raising their hand?
This time yet?
All right, I'm gonna get a countdown here, because it seems slow. I'm guessing most people that were here for expectation rather than oration. But we'll give 10 seconds more in case anybody's just working out their nervousness. Anything that you want to talk about? Yes, I will make an announcement while we wait for people to make their final decision. There's a couple things that we want to make sure people are aware of. Number one, Huntsville is actually having a pop-up meeting nearby in the town hall. So there may be people that are confused where they're supposed to be. If you're looking for a Huntsville town hall meeting, I guess it's across the hall that way. There's also a power outage tonight, I believe, from 11 o'clock. 11 p.m. it kicks off, so anybody who has medical issues or anything like that, prepare yourselves for that, please.
Is that Valley Live?
I haven't seen a boundary and it said it would affect thousands of people, so.
Yes, and got some information on that.
Do you want to step forward and say the word? So, yeah, just a real quick announcement because it's not on the agenda, I just wanted to take the opportunity.
Right, so many of you know I run a, is it on? Hello, can you hear me? No.
I hear you, normal.
No, I'll just stop that. So many of you know I run a Facebook group called Ogden Valley Civil Defense, and so I've done quite a bit of different investigation into how the infrastructure is structured up here. They're talking about 3,500 customers are gonna be out of power. My understanding is they're doing work over in the Eden area. I believe it won't touch Huntsville because whenever Eden, Wolf Creek, Liberty are without power, Huntsville still has it, and vice versa. So there's two separate power grids up here, and I think it's just going to affect that Eden, Wolf Creek area. Don't skewer me if I'm wrong, but I think that's how it's gonna go.
So, yeah, just if everyone could prepare for, I think 11 p.m. is when it's supposed to shut up. It's also a great time to go outside and see the stars. So, there was one other thing, oh, and then afterwards, anyone who wants to stay through the meeting, we will be celebrating our fabulous IT director, who just celebrated her birthday. Anybody who wants to stay through the whole meeting, we would have some cake and we'll be doing a little honorary for her.
Would this be a good time to mention the agenda items? I would like to.
So I haven't closed public comment, so let me just go back to the audience and make sure that anyone from the room, this is the last call for getting up and speaking your piece when it comes to anything for tonight. There are 3 agenda items tonight, you're welcome to speak on any of them, there are also plenty of things, come on up, there are plenty of things not on the agenda, you're welcome to talk about those too.
I'm not sure if I turned it off or. Because it's good here children. It's not.
There's one too.
Anyway, Burl Crater across one guard over Valley Elementary, Eden. And I don't quite understand, we've had all the votes not coming from the districts. And from what I understand, they were all for Eden with exception of one, and Eden came in second. How come we're not counting those votes and going with what the majority is voted for? I don't understand that. Are we canceling out that process that we went through in getting those votes? I think it should be Eden like they voted.
Thank you. Anyone else from inside the room? Anybody online? We're gonna go one more time here. Any hands raised? Anybody online that might be confused? Just raise your hand. Or you can private message Kathy. She will unmute you. Going once. Right, I almost thought you were standing up. All right, that's it. We're gonna put this. Thank you. It's turned off.
I don't know.
Okay, I didn't. Thank you. All right, we'll go ahead and close public comment and move into our agenda. Councilmember Julie Baker.
I would like to make a request that we rearrange the agenda items for tonight. And I heard a person mention that we need to know who we are as a city, down that might have been you. And what I would like to suggest is we put our vision discussion first, then we do our naming discussion, then we do the nuts and bolts organizational chart.
I will second it.
All right. Real quick, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No, yeah, well, just testing the waters here, but it sounds like everybody's in agreement with you. So we can go ahead, that would actually then move. Item 6 to item 4. Correct. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna start off with some standing items. So anyone who's new to attending our meetings, we have a couple of items that we want to make sure that we always address because they are big ticket items for the valley, and we want to make sure we take every single opportunity that we are talking to the public to be able to update them on the latest and greatest information on these topics. So actually, I don't know that Brian Carver would be online right now. Nope. Okay. So if I don't know if any council members want to give it or you want me to give it, we have a planning update we always start with about the shoreline. Go ahead. Okay, so just the latest and greatest update on that is that a new date was chosen for the public hearing. It is August 25th. I want to make sure I got that right. August 25th, which is the 4th Tuesday of August. And so that is a public hearing reopening the zone for shoreline. So please, you're welcome to send in public comment via the website, emails, telephone calls, or come to the public hearing itself and speak on the record.
Is that our public hearing or the?
It is a public hearing with the planning commission, yes. By law, we have to have a public hearing at the planning commission. We do, they no longer have them at the city level. We can choose to, but they are not forced that way. So that's just the planning update at the moment. We lifted the moratorium, and so we are actually processing through applications. There are no applications that are currently at the state of coming in front of the planning commission just yet, and so the one major agenda item is the shoreline zone. I believe the planning commission has other things they wish to discuss, but as far as action item is the shoreline zone. Next up, understanding items is the litigation update. We're gonna have Councilmember Hoagland give an update on where we are with that.
Okay. As you may know, our city is challenging the state tax commission, who rely on a regulation to preclude us from participating in truth in taxation, where, for better or worse, we might be able to get increased funding for the city. We have had favorable decisions from the first court that imposed a temporary restraining order, telling the commission they needed to include us. About 2 weeks later, we then got before the actual judge that this was referred to, who has a specialty in tax issues. That judge, Shaughnessy, said Ogden Valley did not do anything wrong in getting its certification. That was the lieutenant governor's office who was late. Number two, a new city deserves to be fully funded. Nonetheless, he decided it on the point of law. He said the regulations are allowed to fill a gap in the code, state code, that gives us the power of a taxing entity. And he said, so it's a gap filler. And that's how he decided that even though the equities are on our side. The commission, rule varied in their many rules. Can block us from participating. And so we are currently seeking an appeal to the state Supreme Court. And we are preparing all the papers necessary. The state Supreme Court already dismissed the Attorney General on behalf of the state and sought to kick us out. Because they said the appeal was untimely, the court said, no, we want to hear this, so we've got a briefing schedule and we will be proceeding. Thank you.
I had a question.
Sure.
Yeah, that was all over one day, was it? January 1st versus January.
Exactly, we had all.
It's unbelievable how bureaucratic things get. You really need something, they walk away, you don't need it, they don't take this.
So, yeah, appreciate that. It's over one day that we have no control over. Okay, so.
Okay, but so it's the interesting, I believe, the case that we're taking to the court, the Supreme Court, is an interesting case in the fact that the judge ruled that his state law, which is on our side, states that we are a taxing entity on fine corporation. There's no date given in the state law. It's the the property tax commission has an internal guideline that says we have to pick a date somewhere, we pick January 1st. And that judge basically said, well, the state law is silent, so we can rely on that to fill the gap. That's a pretty questionable thing since our US Supreme Court actually just stated that can happen. So we'll see where we net out. In the end, we'll keep everybody updated with articles and e-blasts and everything we can find to get the word out as we hear more. The next thing that we get a standing update on is our finance budget, truth and taxation update. And with that rolls into the proposed property tax impact schedule. This is also something we do to make sure that we're hitting every requirement deadline for truth and taxation. Because of this appeal, and we are requesting a reinstatement of the temporary restraining order, we are continuing to proceed as if we are until we hear otherwise. So to give that regular update, we are continuing on the two paths that we have been talking about since March. We have a lot of documents online. They're also in print available every time you want to come down to the office. We have the proposed property tax impact schedule at all of our public meetings. We got lots of copies for people to take home with them. But basically, if you go on the website, you're welcome to download from there onto your own computer. We have a beautiful fiscal 27 budget book that explains everything about our finances, about the two paths that we're on, all of that. Our entire budget in detail is there for everyone to look at. So anyone who's saying, I want to see every line item, it's right there, it's on the website. And the proposed tax impact schedule, which breaks out the proposed increase in multiple different ways. So you can see it as a percentage overall, you can see it as a percentage of the tax bill, you can see it as an exact monetary number, you can see it any which way you want. I think of it like new math, every which way.
I have a question.
One second, and we continue to make sure that we're putting things in the paper, and so you'll see we have a public hearing coming up on August 11th. That is the official truth and taxation public hearing. It's been noticed, the state has put out a notice, we've put out a notice, it's in the paper as well. You are welcome to make comment and have your comments put on the public record at any time. You can email us. You can call us. Sorry to put a phone call into the public record, but call us to give us your thoughts and comments. Put it in writing, we'll put it in the public record, or come to the public hearing on August 11th, which is a Tuesday, and state it right off the public record in the public hearing. But all of those things are available to you. We want to hear from you. We want to be able to have transparency and open communication on why we're doing what we're doing, where we got the numbers from, and all of that. So if anybody has questions about that, you do not even need to wait till August 11th. Just give us a call or come on in and talk to us. You have a question?
I have a question.
Well, this is not public participation.
Well, I'm a member of the council, so I can participate.
I just don't call and respond.
I'm gonna talk to you. How many people here didn't know that this council in this city is seeking a tax increase? How many did not know that? Okay, and I ask that because the state is challenging every little particular notification that we are doing. They're gonna measure the ads, they're gonna challenge it, and I just want to say, we talk, we have complied, but also we talk to our people. There you go.
I'll actually, just before I finish that one update, I wanna just put another rumor that keeps getting brought up, I get emails about this all the time. The increase is on the city portion of your tax bill. Just to make sure that everyone is understanding that, we are not proposing an increase on your entire tax bill, we do not have that authority. So it is, an increase depending on your home, the value of your home, things like that, everybody's a little bit different, but we're talking about a few $100s, it is not going to go from someone that emailed me 10,000 to 50,000. It's not gonna be that, so, just so everybody's aware, and we do put all this out so that, if you really wanna take a look at a tax bill and see exactly which line item it is, it's been published, but it's called, since we all just got our tax bills, unincorporated municipal fund, and then in brackets it says OBC, because that was, our county has said, it was as clear as they could, since we don't have a name with a number, a tax number at the moment, so they put OBC next to it, just to make it clear. All right, moving on, we are gonna go to item 6 first, as requested. So this is resolution 2026-46. This is adopting the official vision statement of the municipality. Carefully, and so, I believe we've got it to put up on the screen so people can follow along. And I'll give some background while our IT director is doing that. We have some wonderful residents, incredibly, successful and skilled in their own lives, in work, that offered their services to help the city get clear on a vision statement. Where do we want to go with becoming a city? And I think an important communication I had recently with one of those individuals was to remember that the city was not, it was a means to an end, it wasn't the end, right? The reason we became a city was because there was something we wanted to be able to do, not because we wanted to be. And so the vision statement is really to keep in everyone's mind what that is. What is it we want to accomplish? And so while they're pulling things up, I'll go ahead and give some public recognition to Christine Williams and Kim Wheatley, two residents here in the Valley who have helped us dramatically and thoroughly. And it started all the way back in October. Is it October? In September, when we had 12 candidates and not the 6 elected, all 12 candidates got together with these two residents to work through a vision and start putting it all together, and it's continued on, and they have continued to work with us. So we appreciate all the time and the efforts that they have provided for us, and we'll read over the vision statement now.
Mayor, could you read it so everyone can hear, because not everyone can see.
Well, I'm with Ms. Allred, and then I need props too. How do you think this?
Yeah, I'm not. The microphone's batteries right now.
Okay. Oh, can we make it just a little bit bigger? I'm just building something blind. And we can just shift that. Alright. So, the Ogden Valley City Vision Statement. Our valley is a community shaped by its land and strengthened by its people. We honor our history, our pioneering spirit, and our agricultural heritage. We protect our natural resources, open lands, dark skies, wildlife, clean air, and water. We guide growth that is in harmony with the valley and blends sustainability with development. We lead ethically with transparency, accountability, uncompromising integrity, and constant respect for people. We connect our Yes, we connect our community with user-friendly technology and personal support, making it easy for all residents to access city services and be included in the community. We welcome all who come to the valley to experience its beauty, recreation, and warm spirit. We preserve this legacy for generations to come. So that is the vision statement that has been cultivated and created over time.
Will you stand up, because I don't know if people know who you are.
Christine Williams and Kim Wheatley, would you please stand? And get- Thank you very much. All right, so back up to the council, we do have a resolution, it's resolution 2026-46 that looks to adopt the official vision statement of our municipality. We can have a discussion or move straight into motions, what say you?
I'll make a motion.
I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve resolution 2026-46, adopting the official vision statement of the municipality.
There's a second.
I'll second that.
I have a motion on the table from Councilman Hickman and a second from Councilmember Shaw to adopt resolution 2026-46. I am going to do this by a roll call vote as according to Utah Code 103506. And I'll start with Councilman Hickman.
Aye.
Councilman Blueberry.
Yeah. Is there any room for comments?
No, sorry. We've got a motion in a second. Councilmember Booth. Councilmember Shaw. Aye. Councilmember Hope. Aye. Councilmember Dooley Baker.
Aye.
The ayes have it, 5-0.
Not beating to the punch as far as just the confidence through the vision. It's been something that I think has been extremely important for the 6 of us and at the time the 12 of us to go through and to continue to build off that. I really appreciate Kim and Christine and all the others who helped out with that. It's a work that's kind of evolved as we've gone along, and I think we recognize as the 6 of us the importance of having a good, strong vision. And one of the things that I learned through it, it was either Christine or Kim, I forget, maybe both of them kind of emphasized it, that going forward in Ogden Valley, or whatever you call it, it's super important that, and it's been something that it's been fun to learn from my fellow council people and also the mayor, that we all have different skills that we bring to this. And in our first 7 months, we've had a few times where it hasn't been crazy smooth, and you can expect that to happen. And it's the same thing with Valley residents, you know, and us looking to build name the valley something differently. I just looked through my notes from everyone coming up, and there were 11 people who came up, 6 of which voted for the same. 3 voted for Eden, 3 or proposed Eden, 3 voted for Ogden Valley, the rest were different. So you can kind of see where we're at with that. We're in a tough place like this. So bringing this vision together and having it stand for something, I think is super important for us to go forward. I think with the new incorporated city, the valley needs that. We need East Huntsville, we need Huntsville, we need South Huntsville, we need Nordic Valley, Liberty, Eden, Middle Fork, all the different areas to kind of recognize that we're bringing this not just to the 6 of us, although we do need it as far as our vision to help us out, but to all of us to hopefully grasp it and understand it. And I think it was Kim who said this. He said, you need a vision statement that you 6 don't just understand well, but everybody does. That everyone can pick parts of it out, and it's something that resounds to them and they believe in it. And that's what we want. That, like in our valley, we want us to be together, and we want, you know, East Huntsville to get along with Nordic Valleys. And really, that for me, that's why I'm here. I have so many other things that recreationally I would love to be doing, but I love the valley so much. I'm willing to put my 4 years in and do this and hopefully do a good job. You know, being part of my District 4, but sometimes it comes down to bigger things than just my little District 4, that it's the whole valley. And I think with something like this, it is the whole valley. The naming of the valley is more than just my little district. It's the whole valley coming together with that. So I hope as we move forward with that, however that goes, we recognize that and realize that we put a lot of time into this vision statement. And we want it to be a valley thing. We don't want it just to be the six of us. So. Well said.
So we're back to agenda item 4, which is resolution 2026-44. This is to affirm, establish, and settle the official name of the municipality. I have it's up for discussion and then to possibly, to adopt, the resolution. The resolution is written in such a way that depending on how the motions, the seconds, and the votes go, the name will be filled into the resolution. The current resolution is blank. What I'll get the names. So, to you all.
I think we all want to make a statement of
Okay.
what our position is.
Can you speak louder?
We all, I think it wants to make a statement of our separate and hopefully united position. So
Who would like to go first?
I'll jump in on this. Go ahead. Okay, great. I wanted to first of all start by saying we started this process in January, February, the end of January, I believe. And it began, just briefly, I'm gonna share this, with Edith, Victoria, Lori, and Susie coming in and saying, we've done some surveys, we'd really like you to look at this. We looked at that as a council and we said, we need a bigger representation from the valley. We need to do something bigger. So we created an advisory committee and I co-chaired it. And we opened it up to everybody, Wednesday nights at the library, snowstorms or not, we were there, or here. And what we wanted to do was not debate the name at that point. We wanted to create a neutral survey. So we looked and talked to a statistician I know, and we started looking around and trying to figure out how to do a survey that people would think was reliable and valid. So we were playing with that, and then Kay hooked this up with Dr. Johnson at the Weber State University, a neutral party that helped us write this. So our intent and our goal was to get something out there for everybody. It was not to slant it, it was to get something out so we could hear from the residents. So our committee with Lonnie too was part of our group, and Heidi, there's a few folks here, great. That we decided we didn't want to spend any city money, so we got volunteers. We wanted everybody informed, so we created a flyer, sent it out, everybody got a flyer. They knew we were gonna have this survey, they were able to vote. So with that, we did the best we could to find a process that would work for us. We thought that was what we were doing. We wanted to find a process that would work, where people had an opportunity to weigh in. We did get about 2,000 people on the second survey. And with that information, we reported it out. They came and shared it from Weber State. It is a reputable software program. Is it perfect? No. It's a reputable program, so we went with it. From that data, we broke out, because council people asked by district what people wanted and how long they lived in the valley. So we didn't ask for personal information because we felt that was too intrusive, and Weber State also didn't want personal information to run through that. There's a lot of hoops you have to go through when you use personal information. So what we did is send it out. We got responses back. And yes, like our gentleman who's our crossing guard shared, every district picked Eden, except for 5, who picked Pineview. So I think we did what we could to get the best input we could from everybody. So that was our methodology, and that's how we approached it. So with that, I'm gonna recommend.
I think,
I can make my recommendation.
Okay.
I'm not making a motion because everybody wants to talk. No, okay, everybody wants to talk. So my recommendation is that we go with that voice of the valley. we informed people, they had an opportunity, we got back what they wanted, and that's what I believe I'm here for. Because I felt the county did not listen to us all the time, and that's why I'm here. So that's the voice I wanted to hear, so my recommendation would be to listen to the district folks. Would like to go.
I'd be happy to go next. Because I've already stated my opinion when Peggy asked us for a temperature. And so I already stated it. I am here to urge the council to keep the name of our municipality as Ogden Valley City. First, I'd like to acknowledge Edith Songbird, Victoria Malmberg, Susie Wood, and Lori Barnes for their tireless efforts in promoting changing the name of our municipality. Spearheading and promoting this project. I'd also like we were there to talk about the name. They were effectively shut down. This valley has a communities
Is it both recorded and zooming on that?
Yeah. Are you going through puberty? Was that little?
I think we're just about up and running.
Okay.
I know that, of course, never sleeps, no, don't, and you need something to get it, all that one stuff about it. I'm slipping through the.
Thanks, Don.
Tell you, you're gonna hold
There you go.
Perfect, thank you. All right, so just for the people online, we had a little hiccup with that, but our fantastic IT director got us back and running. The only thing you missed, we had a brief musical interlude while we waited for it to get back up and running. We're gonna come right back to Councilmember Shaw to continue what she was saying.
Okay. I'll start back where I was talking about practical concerns. Changing the name would create a list of tasks and costs at a time when we have more pressing issues in standing up a new city. Our focus should be energy and on the mechanics of building a strong, functional municipality, not on spending time and energy on a cosmetic change that does not improve our ability to govern or serve residents. I appreciate the time and effort the naming committee put into encouraging public participation, but I do not believe disliking a name is enough reason to change it. How does being called Ogden Valley harm our new municipality? Does it hurt our businesses, our operations, or our ability to function as a city? If not, why change it? Inclusiveness matters. I have heard from residents who feel that naming the city Eden would leave out Liberty and Huntsville. A city name should represent the whole community, not just one part of it. Ogden Valley is a name that already includes all of us and has for over a century. I also have concerns about how the survey results are being interpreted. A survey can be helpful, but it is not the same as a ballot. It was clearly stated that the purpose of the surveys was to inform the council members who would make the decision. We were elected to make these decisions. I do not believe that 1,800 of 7,000 people in the valley is enough to justify changing a name that has been in place for more than 100 years and that will affect generations to come. The argument that it will always be Ogden Valley does not ring true to me. Ronald Reagan spoke of freedom. He said, freedom is a fragile thing, and it's never more than one generation away from extinction. I echo those sentiments in the name. It only takes one generation calling it something else for the old name to fade. We also need to be careful about what we assume from silence. Many people do not take surveys. Some may be tired of them, some may distrust them, and some may simply not participate. There were many voices we never heard from, and silence should not be treated as consent to change a name. For these reasons, I ask the council to preserve the name Ogden Valley City. It honors our shared history, includes the distinct communities that make up this valley, avoids unnecessary distraction and expense, and respects the many residents whose voices may not have been captured in a survey.
Yes. Who would like to go next? Usually our meetings are so quiet, now there's a pause. Yes.
Everybody hear me? Okay. Thank you. I will not duplicate, instead I will foot stomp and add to the thank you to the committee. They did what they were asked and they delivered generously and professionally and brilliantly. They are the finest. You too, Lonnie. They're the finest of the valley and represent our wonderful volunteer spirit. Now let's talk about the city name. I support the name Ogden Valley.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Who says that?
No.
Right.
Sorry. Let's keep it to the council, please.
I support it. It's the legal name, Ogden Valley City. Do you know what? Many cities also have the name city at the end, but they don't know it. They don't use it. Layton is Layton City. Midway is Midway City. But we don't use the city name and we don't have to. So that's my decision as an elected representative, but let me give you 3 reasons why, and I will try to be to the point. And then I will address what I know are concerns about this very quickly. Reason 1, we adopted our vision statement for a reason, to guide our judgment. We already promised there to honor our history and protect our rural way of life. The name Ogden Valley is part of that. People have called this place Ogden Valley for generations, and we must respect that. Our vision statement also asks, and it was a motivating factor for incorporation, to preserve the rural nature of the valley. Sadly, Eden ain't rural. I live there. It's crowded. My rural areas are Huntsville, Liberty. I want us to perpetuate those rural areas in that open space. That desire also motivates my name, my suggestion and my vote on our name. Even though a highly professional poll showed people preferred Eden, choosing it now, I am concerned, would undermine that rural nature. Our vision embraces constant respect from people, and I respect the people who don't want to bear the name Eden, even though they may be in the minority of the poll. Reason 2, the Ogden Valley name brings us together. We are still forming our identity as a community, even though it sounds like we had some good tournaments in competition. I love the name Eden. It's beautiful. It's poetic. It's my personal favorite. But many people in Huntsville and Liberty were against incorporation from the start, and they felt with some reason it was an Eden-based initiative. I'm concerned that now if we pick the name Eden, it would feel like Eden is conquering the whole valley. What they feared would be happening to them. Huntsville isn't Eden, nor is Liberty. And so I want us to respect the integrity and the values and the uniqueness of those areas. Reason 3, we can be united even though we are different. Our city includes Huntsville, Liberty, Eden, and every other part of this valley. Ogden Valley is the name that has always held all of these places together without making one part stand for the other. We are united. Now I want to answer the likely objections, which I respect and fully understand. First, a Democratic vote versus my obligation as an elected representative. Some people will say, well, my vote doesn't match the poll. However, I was elected for my judgment, not just to fall out of the survey. Sometimes doing my job and fulfilling my oath of office means voting for what I believe is best for the whole community, even if it's not the popular choice right now. Second, there's opposition to the name Ogden. People don't like it. I've heard some recent people move here. Oh, it's Ogden. It's not cool. We don't like Ogden. We don't want to be affiliated. Well, I take offense to that. I grew up in Ogden. I'm a proud graduate of Ogden High School. I go there weekly to enjoy the music, the culture, to see my relatives. I think instead of disliking Ogden, I think people don't like the word city. We don't have to use the word city. And frankly, Ogden is part of who we are. We're a community with Ogden, with North Ogden, with South Ogden, with West Ogden. Let's again build strength, not division. So finally, this valley is home to Huntsville, Liberty, Eden, and every family and farm in between. Whatever name we choose, I hope it's a name every part of the community can feel proud to stand together. And I personally believe the name is Ogden Valley. Thank you.
What's up, gentlemen?
You gotta clean up. I'm Don Hickman. I represent the district that did not prefer Eden. I firmly believe that had the incorporation paperwork listed Ogden Valley instead of Ogden Valley City, we wouldn't even be here tonight. No other issue, not even a proposed property tax increase of over 500%, has energized the residents as much as this name change. No matter what name we ultimately choose, we are going to disappoint people. Thus is the nature of representative democracy. As I do on every important decision, I have weighed the facts as I know them and have settled on what I believe is the next right thing to do as District 5's representative. In this case, tonight I will speak for those who don't want the name Eden. First off, I do wish to recognize Edith and Laura and Victoria. You're awesome. You represent the very best of Ogden Valley and Huntsville and Eden and Liberty and Nordic Valley. And while ultimately my conclusion as the District 5 representative might be different than you preferred, the three of you and the four of you are awesome. I forget, but one cannot touch the screen. Place names change over time. Per the Ogden Valley News, the Northwestern Shoshone, who called this valley home for many centuries, referred to it as Anga Weyate. And I apologize to the Shoshone if I butchered how they pronounce it. Translated to where the red berries grow. We've all talked about Peter Skene Ogden, the French-Canadian fur trapper, came here in 1825, called it the New Hole, and by the mid-19th century, we all know this, it was Ogden Hold and Ogden Valley. In a democracy, those who participate are the ones who have a say in the future. Over the past several months, almost 300 names were proposed. And no clear consensus was formed. Note the consensus. In the final survey, however, managed by Weber State University, what Peggy and all you wonderful volunteers managed, 2,189 folks spoke, and the survey showed a preference for Eden. Note a preference, not a vote for, it was a preference in the way that the survey was put together. And I'm not debating the results of the survey. They are what they are. Except where? In my district. What is now District 5 has never been known as Eden. When asked where we live, we say Huntsville, or maybe South Fork, or the Valley. Folks here use which zip code? 84317, not 84310. Eden is your name, folks up there in 84310. It's not our name down here. We're 84317. For many District 5 residents, Eden is not a unifying name, but the imposition of someone else's identity onto them. District 5 is the largest and most rural of our districts. Folks are empathetic with the challenges faced by our family and friends to the north in Eden and Liberty, Nordic Valley, particularly when it comes to development and water issues. However, District 5 voted 54% for incorporation and 46% against. That is not overwhelming support, as has been said elsewhere in this valley. Among that 46% are residents who were skeptical of the assurances made by the Pro-Incorporation Committee and the feasibility study that taxes would not go up, service levels would stay the same, and things would be better when we broke away from the county. District 5 folks are calling me and stopping me on the street every single day for the last 2 months. That's a slight exaggeration, but I get a lot of calls and I get stopped a lot, expressing strong frustration that their skepticism has proven to be well-founded. Many feel as if our friends and family to the north have imposed their will on us, including now maybe their name. Many feel that the incorporation sponsors drew a boundary map that included District 5 without the residents' consent and without a practical means to opt out. Some of them continue to ponder why the sponsors included District 5, not to acquire a tax base in our water. They're watching new taxes and fees be levied and the specter of a 500% increase in the local property tax to pay for the new city, with most of the expenses where? Not where we live. They're keenly aware that the largest city expense is roads maintenance, and that over the next 3 years, millions of dollars will be spent to repair roads in districts 1 through 4. But based on our roads maintenance plan right now, only $5,500 worth of maintenance is scheduled in District 5 in the next 3 years. And now they face the specter, that's a little exaggeration, but they face the fact that we could vote and change the name to Eden. So while I recognize and value the opinions of those who prefer the name Eden, and it is a beautiful word, and it evokes a certain place, and I include in my respect to my neighbors, tonight I speak for those who didn't want to incorporate, who didn't want new taxes, who don't wish to live in a city named Eden. Tonight I will vote no if the name Eden is proposed. And like my colleagues, Kay Hoagland and Tia Shaw, I support Ogden Valley.
I'll make mine short. I kind of said what I feel about it. I'm going to attempt to be the best Switzerland I can be right now with it. For me, it's fairly easy as far as within my district what the choice is. I live in downtown Eden. I love the name. I've lived there for 20 plus years, but I also lived for 20 plus years in the East Huntsville, South Fork area also. So I understand and respect the sensitivity there of changing possibly a name that they've had for a very long time there. I've spent a lot of time talking with residents within my district, whether it be talking with them or via email. There's been a lot of passionate feelings about it on both sides. I've been very surprised with some people that I've talked to about them not necessarily wanting the name Eden, even though they live right there in downtown Eden. And so my thoughts on this and what I feel is important is kind of what I said earlier. I think we're at a very important time in Ogden Valley, that a time in which we can show and prove that we are a community and we want to be a community and we want to work together. There is some divisiveness, I think, throughout the valley, whether for whatever reasons. And I think that, grasping a hold of this vision that we've passed tonight and moving forward in more of a collaborative way as Valley residents, kind of what I remember growing up as here. I mean, I used to spend time as a kid. I would hitchhike around the valley to my baseball games over to Patio Springs. We'd ride horses throughout the valley. We'd ride it to school on the last day, ride horses to school, and I don't think we'll ever going back to that, but I would like to think that we can have something of that. And I think the valley as a whole can work towards that. So being the best Switzerland I can be tonight, I think I would choose to not necessarily vote for a new name, but hold off until a better time to where we can prove that we can show that as a valley we're ready for that. I don't think we're ready for that yet. I think it's going to cause a little bit too much divisiveness, and I think going forward we can be better than that as a valley, and I hope that we can. So that's my thoughts on it.
All right. Okay, all council members have spoken, so I will entertain a motion.
I move that we adopt resolution 2026-44. Do you want me to read that whole thing?
You
A resolution of the Ogden Valley City Council affirming, establishing, and settling the official name of the municipality incorporated as.
Stop.
Okay.
Yeah. But with With what?
What is the name you're proposing?
That we name, that we keep the name Ogden Valley. And it will be referred to as city legally.
Okay,
Will
is
you take
there,
will you take friendly amendment or just?
I will take
clarify
a friendly amendment.
that we continue with the name Ogden Valley City, which shall be known and can be referred to as Ogden Valley.
I will take that amendment.
Okay.
so we have a motion on the table to adopt resolution 2026-44, affirming, establishing and settling the official name as Ogden Valley City that will be known and referred to as Ogden Valley. Is there a second?
I second.
We have a motion on the table from Councilman Shaw and a second from Councilman Hickman. We're gonna do a roll call vote. I'm gonna start on the opposite end.
No more discussion. I have one thing that hasn't been said.
Okay,
May I share it? Just a fun fact.
can we do no more than 30 seconds? We
Yes,
have beat
fun
this horse
fact.
to death, yes.
Fun fact. I learned recently, I know this isn't gonna make much of a difference, but it's a new learning for me, so I'll share.
Is it a just, because we have a motion and a second on the table.
Right, isn't there room for discussion now? Okay.
It didn't sound like it sounds like, an anecdote.
It's a fun fact.
Really quick, go for it, Peggy.
About Eden. Everyone said the historical piece of Eden. I learned that in 1865, the very first settlement in this boundary of our new municipality was laid out and it was named Eden. The very first, so there is just so you know, there is a historical piece to Eden, not just a neighborhood name.
Thank you, thank you. We have a motion on the table and a second. Councilmember Julian Baker, how do you vote?
No, name.
Councilmember Hoagland.
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw.
Aye.
Councilmember Booth.
Aye.
Councilmember Hickman.
Aye.
The ayes have it. It's a 4-1 vote. It's a 4-1 vote to affirm, establish, and settle the name as Ogden Valley. All right, one last item on tonight's agenda here. We have resolution. Yeah, anyone who wants to exit, you're welcome to. If you forego your right to come in.
Yeah.
But we're gonna move forward here. So we have resolution 2026-45. This is authorizing the preparation of ordinances and personnel materials in accordance with the organizational chart structure approved on this date. I believe we have imagery to put up on the screen.
You want the PowerPoint, right? It's in the packet. Yeah. It has 3 pictures. It's got a title page called Floor Chart Submissions. There it is.
All right, Councilmember Hoagland, are you?
I will explain this, and then anyone can jump in. We have been working on how to be best organized and to be efficient, as well as to serve our vision. And over the course of probably 2 months, we have been studying, reading. We had an expert panel of people who were municipal attorneys and city administrators and city advisors just on the 20th of this month. And as a result of that, we have produced, and I think we've narrowed down our selections for an organization chart. And what the current resolution we are considering is something that will empower our mayor and our attorneys and others to take steps to implement the organizational chart that we vote on tonight. So it's very simple. And the first chart was done with the intent of representing what the panel of experts had recommended. And that is the city council is an email. The city council has overall legislative responsibility. And the mayor serves as the executive authority. And so, like many forms of government, which is reflected in the state code, the city council is primarily.
There's only one microphone.
Pardon me?
There's only one microphone.
So,
Well, yeah,
okay, sorry, walking when I talk. And stop me if any of you want to talk. But this is largely based on the structure of the state code. The powers that are created by default, the advice from the panel, and our discussion in studies over the last 6 weeks. The city council is primarily the legislative authority. By the way, the city council consists of 6 people, and it includes the mayor. Okay, so we're all members of the city council. The mayor under the statute has special duties. The statute says the mayor is the CEO, chief executive officer, to whom all employees report. What is very interesting then is this 6-member council form, and some people may have identified it as the weak mayor. It's not called that in the statute. It wasn't called that, frankly, on the ballot. It's called weak mayor because in comparison to other forms, the mayor doesn't get to vote. The mayor doesn't get to veto. And by the way, we as a city council and the mayor get to vote on his or her powers. So the statute doesn't say the mayor is inherently weak. It lets us as a new city decide how we want the powers to be distributed. This was recommended by the sponsors. It was recommended by the experts who worked with the sponsors as the most flexible for a new city. Well, we've gone through 6 months as a new city. We've studied how we can manage ourselves and serve the people better. And based on that analysis. We don't have a microphone. Sorry, I'm moving. Based on that analysis, what came to the fore is something we never really thought about ourselves. People think cities are managed by city managers, but what we heard from our panel is no. City administrator is really the much more suitable term for a 6-member council form of government. The city administrator is endowed by the mayor to do certain functions on her or his behalf. And so they are the administrative arm of the mayor. Under that, our panel, and I think we all agree, there are 3 really important buckets of work to be done. The first one is the back office. It's keeping the wheels on the bus. Finance, records, legal, communications, IT, as you all saw how important that is. But those are the things that enable the city to work. The other two parts are 2 of the major things we have to do to keep the city running and plan for the city's future. One is community development, another term we have used before until the panel spoke to us. Community development is a fancy term. Basically, it's planning. But it's also strategic work. It's long-range planning. It's economic planning for the city. It grows into envisioning the future. Where are we going to be in 5 years? What's the growth rate? Where will we be in 10 years? Community development also supervises all these other functions that make planning possible. permitting, code enforcement, and the like.
I'm gonna ask, that we get briefer summaries to the audience. We've talked about this in a number of meetings and we do have, an action item to make sure, this is one
Sure,
slide.
I'm not sure everyone's been here, so I'm.
No, absolutely, but
The final,
we can
field
summarize.
community services, a common term for public works engineering. It's making the roads work, it's paying attention to, plowing the snow and filling the potholes. So this is the overview of how it works. You can do the next slide, go ahead.
You mentioned we could jump in, and
Yeah,
I
please.
think the conversation is important that it's based on money. It's based on what funds we have and what we can do with this funds. This would be an ideal structure if we had money. So we're gonna have to look at it and look at what our priorities are. Look at what we want to accomplish and start that first, I believe, and then move to the next area that we want to work on and start building as a city. We can't just do this all at once. It's not gonna be practical for us.
okay, there were two other slides. Do we want to summarize the two slides that are left?
We can go to the next slide.
But, okay,
This is one that one of our council members proposed. And it may be viewed as the starting basis that she has just observed and in her.
would you like to present your slide?
Yeah,
Is this me?
This is you.
Oh, with lines.
I didn't do lines.
This one, I was looking at the wrong one on my chart. Okay. This was one I felt was a transitional step. So right now, all of us have portfolio areas that we're working on. Different areas. We really need to start moving some of this stuff of city operations to professionals and people that we start hiring. But again, with money, I recommended the first step be a full-time community development director. And they will take care of most of the stuff, but they don't take care of the roads. And that is a big issue. It's got a lot of pieces. So I would modify this after my new learning and do a half-time community development, half-time public works director. Because those are our priorities. We have to keep the roads and everything moving. We got to keep the development as our focus and keep that planning responsible. And then we would still keep, as council members, some responsibility and slowly offload those as we get money. So that's what that chart tried to explain.
All right, we had moved over one slide without talking about it. Did you want to go back one page?
We skipped this.
Yeah, it's this one I thought you were.
Okay, this is one, and I think it was the combination of the ideas that Councilman Hickman had. And that I had, we both came up with the same diagram independently. It's very much like the first slide we talked about. I'm sorry, I want to project it. It has two other features. We drew this knowing that the mayor is somewhat of the unique person among equals. She's equivalent to the council members. She just has different duties. She supervises the city administrator. I emphasize that it was to manage our budget. It's could be full-time, could be part-time, could be a contract. So we need to have flexibility in how we staff in recognition of the budget. And then what flows under that is these 3 buckets of work. So it's very simple. Upper levels, the mayor by statute has the responsibility to connect with external organizations. On the right, our council members have stepped up and shared as Councilman Julie Baker has, they chair advisory committees, so that's extra duty. But we want to bring the public in, we want to bring the volunteers in. much power and much to give to the city, so. That's the array, very simple.
Okay.
Councilmember Shaw first.
Okay, so you have citizens and then under that, the city council. And who? So we have our committees. And who do we just run those separately in a silo? Or do we report to one person?
I think we each take responsibility for working with that committee. But at the same time, we report back to each other about what the committee is doing. Their progress, yeah.
But I believe if you're asking about portfolios, they would go to. I'm not sure it's different than portfolios, except that and my other question is, you've got community development, public works, administrative and shared services. Are those paid positions?
They will be staffed based on available budget. And I've done, and we, any people who have done hiring, especially, we don't know, do we need part-time, full-time contracts? We need to be flexible about seeing what the talent pool is and seeing what we can afford. I agree with Councilman Hickman that the first priority we should hire is actually public works. Patch the potholes, make sure the snow gets plowed. Let's see what the talent is out there. Then I agree with Councilman Dooley Baker, community services is key. So
would the mayor report to us about these things that go under?
yes. Yeah. And I'll be candid. This is to get us out of portfolio management. We are not experts. We had a interim model of each of us doing the work, regardless of whether we had background or not. That's what we had to do to get this city rolling. Now, to serve the public, we're looking to professionalize this and letting the council members become the legislative body.
Councilmember Booth.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, and again, this is something that's very new to me as far as this next step of what we're doing here within the city and organizing it in this manner. And one of the things that as I've tried to learn and be better equipped to do what I'm doing as far as city council and when I've reached out to other cities and attorneys who work for other cities, one of the things they continue to emphasize to me is to make sure your first year or two that you have a really true balance of power within the six of us, regardless of the confusion of what form of government we're running based off of weak mayor, no mayor, not or not. And to me, this chart is misleading to me. I may be reading it incorrectly, but for the first 7 months, for instance, Don has done a remarkable job with public works. He doesn't want to continue to spend as much time with that, but having that be one of the first big hires we make as the city, I don't see why we're taking away where Don, I believe, has been extremely good at. He's done an amazing job with understanding it and putting pieces in place. All of a sudden, the arrows are taking that away to where Don has no oversight with that. I may be reading it wrong, but it's the way that it is, it is. Same thing with like community development. I would love to be able to be more involved with the community development and the vision of the valley and where we're going with it, what kind of volunteer groups and different things like that we have that help make Ogden Valley what it is, and it's and so forth. And so to me, this is confusing. I don't understand why it's all linking back up to one and taking away from the other five. And my goal is to make sure that I'm listening to what people have told me, and they said, first year or two, just make sure you're not giving power away, that the six of you are all balanced in that. And it may be that, but I just want to emphasize that that's what I want.
Councilmember Hickman.
So a couple of things.
Those three blocks at the bottom represent chunks of people who are doing things already. For example, administrative and shared services is finance, legal, accounting,
Communicate.
IT, communications. Public works is engineering and public works. Community development would be permitting, planning,
Code
code enforcement, whatever. So they represent those chunks, new hires or not, but that's where these chunks fit in. I want us to be absolutely clear-eyed and make sure there's no misunderstanding what we're looking at if we choose this one. This org chart means that the mayor would oversee a city administrator who oversees in some fashion each of those services. Peggy and Kay and Tia and Chad and Dawn aren't in this org chart directly overseeing the provision of those services. Note I said directly. We as the legislative function have absolute responsibility to say, show me the money, or let's just use public works. I would imagine that I would stay involved and there would be a public works committee or something, I don't know what, but oversight of the provision of public works administered by the city administrator and those doing it under the authority of the mayor. I want to make sure we understand that this means that we are saying affirmatively in the resolution that the mayor supervises the city administrator who supervises these functions.
And I highlighted that in here in section 3, because I do have, it's more than just that here. So I want to make sure that we have that position too, and the resolution.
Oh,
in the words.
In the words. So I hear what you're saying, but then I also read, pursuant to the Utah Code and other applicable code, the mayor and the city council hereby vote to authorize the mayor, so we're giving the mayor authority here, authorize the mayor to exercise the authority described in section 2, including such transition members as a temporary assignment of existing officers. And that means us, according to Kate, and I had a conversation and asked today. So that means us. So the mayor can assign us to do something temporarily here. But I'm gonna go to Chad's point and say it's not temporary. You give it, there's a process for taking it. Yes, right here on page 30.
right, I already have that authority. It says it right here that I can assign council members with their advice and consent to oversee this.
And that's what I wanted to add in there, Janet,
Yeah.
with advice and consent.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
not in here. So that piece has to be very clear, that to tie your two things together, and thank you, Janet, for saying that, because that's my comment off to the side.
My pleasure.
Mayor may appoint with advice and consent. I would like to keep that in place and not take that out, even temporarily. I think, because once it's gone, we have to have a majority, everybody, or the mayor or majority. So I am suggesting, I'm fine with the resolution of appointing all the others, because you're right, Janet, it's part of your statutory. What's the next word?
You're not granting any new powers.
Responsibility.
These are my authority.
It's part of your statutory responsibility to do that, and that's great. But with advice and consent, and that's what I want to maintain.
Can I address a couple of things? First of all, balance of power and checks and balances. That diagram represents the classic division of checks and balances in our forms of government nationally. And in the division of mayor as administrator, and we all, council members, as the legislative body who votes, who appropriates. We can investigate as well. We can ask for reports. We legislate. That is the most powerful body. She cannot spend money if it's not authorized by us.
Yeah, and I guess I don't see it, and I could be wrong in it, I don't see that chart showing that, that chart to me shows. Take responsibility away from what we've been for 7 months, have specific things that we've been tasked to do. And now that takes that away, unless we just decide to wanna dig into it and get after it, and I feel like. You take that away, we're naturally not gonna be as involved with it and as concerned with it, so that chart to me takes that away. And so, yes, I can see the next part based off of the recommendations from the mayor to do more. I don't like it. I don't like it, and it could be the right way of doing it, but the way that it looks to me is taking that away. My understanding of it.
Councilman Shaw.
I want to get back to the first chart. I'm just trying to
Do you mind doing
understand,
the first one? Same to.
I'm just trying to understand the difference. Other than the fact that the city council in the second chart are all broken out. Still, the mayor is over the city administrator, which is over these 3 boxes, and in the first one, it's the mayor is over the city administrator, these 3 boxes. I'm trying to understand, first of all, why that would cost more money, since they both look, they're the same, to me. And then second, it looks to me in the first one like the city council. And this is what it looks like to me, because I'm not understanding it that well. The mayor is reporting to the city council in the first one.
So I'll make a clarification there, since I actually built this slide. And this was based off of showing people what the administrative model looks like as per what the experts were suggesting. I went back and forth on whether I should put a dashed line in between council and mayor. I am part of council, so I just went ahead and put the line there. So I am both the mayor and I am part of city council. The mayor does not report to city council, since I am part of city council, but I make reports to city council.
Okay.
And that's part of the law, but it's not. So I don't, you can't fire me.
Okay.
I'm elected by the people, just as you all are. And so I don't report into you.
I see.
But I make reports to you. I am by law, I'm supposed to give a state of the city. I'm supposed to, if this is the model we go with, which is actually what the statute has in the 6-member form, since it states that all employees report to the mayor, blah, blah, blah. If that expert panel talked about, you've had staff meetings. The staff meetings are not with all the council members. Those aren't even public meetings, because the council is a quorum. So the mayor, and it can be in this city, it can be the mayor plus 2 council members if they wish to attend as well, or the mayor pro tem, however you want to work it. We'll be meeting weekly with the staff, making sure everything that the city council, specifically the 5 city council members, which are the legislative authority, you all write and adopt every law, municipal and land use. You set the zones, you set the vision, the direction. I didn't vote on the vision statement. You all set the full direction, you set the budget. Then you task the administrative side with administering that. So you all are the direction. The administrative side is the day-to-day operations. And there are reports that go to the council so that you know how your vision is doing, how it's being implemented. But so what I have heard in other meetings has been things like, we have some people who aren't as interested in the day-to-day operations. They want more broader direction and vision, and to protect that. That is this model. As a legislative body, you guys drive the city. You set where the money gets spent. You say how much money is, what taxes are. I don't have a vote in any of that. So you set laws. I'm supposed to enforce the law. These are clearly written in the powers and duties. So you all set everything. I make it happen. That's it. So I don't report to you all. I make reports to you.
Right, and so in reporting to us, that would seem like we are your boss.
Right, so I think the next slide tried to make that clear. I didn't make the next slide, but I think it was to make it clear that I don't actually report to you all. We are one council, but everything else I think is the same.
It looks the same.
Except for the fact that the city council, it looked to me like
you would be accountable to us. But,
I'm accountable to the people.
yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
We have the power first. And so. The actions of the. Implementation, the administration, we have the oversight. We have money, we have vote. She doesn't get to vote, she gets to execute.
I don't know if anybody knows it, I haven't made one single vote.
I want to address one other question you had. I don't think there's intended to be a difference in cost between these two.
okay, well, I heard somebody say that this would be, the cost would be too much for us.
No.
For the first one.
Well, I think Councilmember Baker, you said
Yes,
something.
I'm very concerned about the money issue, and I wanna make sure that we don't just jump to full-time automatically.
Absolutely.
That we look at what we need and then we do the minimum to step away from the model we have. There has to be a transition, it's not just, you know, on Tuesday morning, we're done and somebody else takes over planning and permitting.
Wholeheartedly agree.
As we make this transition, we have to be careful about really truly the needs and what the cost is.
Yes, Councilmember.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go back, you know, and I appreciate Kay's explanation at the beginning, but I'm still not set on. And I've got emails into our attorney through the state attorney that's been referred to me to go to. I still don't. Based off of what I believe the Valley residents voted into office as far as the setup of our government. This is not what it is to what I understood. I understood the mayor's responsibility. I'm not trying to take away what this is. I want to understand it better. So I want to make sure everyone understands that as I'm explaining this, but I won't approve personally for me this form right now until I understand it better. I don't want to give away what I've been over and over advised. Do not give away the power that you won't be able to get back. You say you can get it back, but once you give it away, they say you don't get it back. And so I want to understand this form that we voted in November better. This is not what I feel like we voted in during that time, that there was more of a ceremonial side to what the mayor did as far as leading the city and doing those things. Is not as much of this. And so if this is what it is, and I get better understood on it or educated on it, based off of some, you know, some legal questions I have, I'm fine with it, but I'm not ready for it right now, personally.
Okay, Councilmember Shaw.
I'm trying to understand how we're giving away power. What power would we give away if the mayor's doing the duties that she's supposed to be doing? Where are we giving away the powers?
I see one instance here where we're losing advice and consent for our actual assignments.
You're saying in the resolution that's written?
Yes, as it's written.
Not in the chart.
Not in the chart. I'm in the resolution trying to interpret what we're saying, we're gonna put forth.
Yeah.
So section 3, we lose advice and consent, and that means to me that the mayor can exercise authority to give us assignments and to existing officers, which is us. And right now we have advice and consent, and I'd like to keep that. I don't think that's gonna slow us down too much. I think it keeps us still working together. And I think it's important moving forward to keep us working together.
So if it makes you more comfortable, I would be fine offering or asking to have it put in there. I will point out, this is a resolution and not an ordinance. It doesn't change anything. You can't give me more power in a resolution. You can only give me more power, such as taking away your advice and consent through an ordinance, and this is a resolution.
I'd still feel better if it's.
That's fine by me. I have no objection to it. I'm just making sure that you understand.
Okay.
This was never going to give me any new power. It's not an ordinance.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I disagree a little bit with that. Based off of this form, it does that. If we're not explaining the right form of government, and that's back to your question on that. If you go back to that original chart, it definitely takes weight, because what you've been doing for the last 7 months, you no longer will be doing. There's none of that power that you've had to do what you've been doing, whatever was your your responsibility, you no longer have that. Don no longer has that. I no longer have it over the planning side.
I see our power as in. You know, writing the law. Not in, or in, day to day. Running business licenses or.
And I don't think it'll be that anymore, because we will hire them, so that's the point, is but you won't have any. I use Don as an example, because I feel like Don did a really good job on that side of that with the public works. All of a sudden, we're taking that away from what he, and maybe he flat out doesn't want it, but I think a balance of that is important, it is good. I've learned a lot about the planning side of things. I don't want to spend as much time as I have been with it, but I do want to continue to stay with that, and you take that away, and I'm done with it, unless there's some other, you know, responsibility given to me that time. So I just want to understand it better, and I don't understand it, and I'm not ready to give my approval for it. It's understood.
Any other conversation or discussion?
I think, and Chad, you're keying in on the important thing. If we vote for either one of the two org charts, not the third one, the one, not Vegas, if we vote for the second, the two above it, it inherently means that we are saying in a resolution, the mayor is authorized to hire a city administrator who manages, supervises, the supervising is the word that's in the statute, the different departments, and the mayor supervises the administrator, which means I don't supervise public works, you don't supervise business licenses, you don't supervise planning. That's what it means. I believe it's the right thing to do, as we discussed in the working session on Monday, because I know, based on my experience, it is by far the most efficient, effective way for us to provide the services to the people. And I am, frankly, to me, they're essentially the same thing. Those two org charts, I can vote for either one of them. And that is what I suggest we do. And if we come to at some point, I will move that we do that too. So that's what I said.
I do
And Peggy, you're right. The advice and consent thing is important. I think good catch, put it in there. I would say to us though, that as we transition, if we pass this, we've got to be responsive. If the mayor says, hey, I need somebody to do X, we can't wait for a month to vote, because advice and consent is a vote. So we've got to be responsive and just agree to get the work done.
And
But
I think we
her asking doesn't mean we're gonna give it, but we need to be responsive and say yes or no. Just like the Senate is doing up in Washington DC, right?
I have tried to do that because it's important to get the work done. So I have made myself available. I've always tried to do that. So that won't change, but I don't want to not have that.
Yeah. And I'll just foot stomp it based off of Don's word there. I think we're rushing it a little bit. I have the question in to our attorney, not our attorney, but the attorney that's been that trained us when we were down there, and he's getting back to me to better explain it. I could be off, and he could say this is how it should go, but based off of the form of government that I've studied on this, we're a little bit off with it, so I'm not ready to do that. I would rather get approval from those who have trained us and give us the right form of government to run forward, because it is different than what I believe was understood when we voted this in November.
Can I have a question and an observation? Who's that attorney?
Todd Godfrey.
Okay. Do you know he could not serve as our city attorney? And I asked him. And so, I mean.
What does that mean though? Sorry.
Because if you're asking advice of another attorney, we do have a city attorney. But also we have two experienced attorneys on our panel. Both of whom helped start the city. Both of whom were here to answer your question.
So, okay, let me give you the thread of why it went to him. So I went back and forth with Madison based off of that panel, who was on the panel, and asked her a bunch of questions. We went back and forth on it. And finally she said, I think it would be better for you to advise with him.
Fair enough.
She led me that way. And she agreed, she thinks and I'll share the thread with all of you, I think it's important, I think I might have, actually. No, I didn't, some of you. But anyways, she feels like it was a very important distinction to make so that we feel good about it, and I've never gotten it, in the 7 months, I've never been explained to me that the exact form of government that we should be going on. That's why I did my presentation last week on it, and obviously it wasn't, I just need to understand that better. So, Todd opened that up to this morning to it, I sent it to him and he'll clarify it for me. So-
But the leading of cities and towns that has many people who are attorneys, in fact, the director is an attorney, have written the authoritative discussion on powers and duties in a 6-member council. And this.
Okay, I get what you're.
Yeah, the structure is consistent with this, and I just think we've had opportunity to study, ask questions. And frankly,
A
our
6-member public is the question I have. I wanna make sure we're moving forward with that form of government that was understood that the Ogden Valley residents voted in. If it is, and that's what you're referring to is the correct codes and whatever you call it in there, great, I'm ready to go forward, but I just question that based off of everything else I've been researching and learned about what that is.
I have a clarifying question. I wanna make sure. Are you asking if we are a 6-member form, or are you asking whether that org chart is illustrative of the 6-member form? Or a third option?
I'm asking if we are implementing the correct form of government that we voted in November. I want clarification that we're doing it correctly. That's the part I'm questioning, whether we're doing that correctly going forward, because I don't feel like we've ever truly had that explained. And I know we shy away from that whole weak form of government, but all the job responsibilities and everything like that, I don't think are being fulfilled the way that I understood. And as when I talk with residents, they also understood what they voted in. We could have not understood it correctly. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I want to have, being one of 5 council people in this, I want to have confidence going forward that I know exactly what form of government we voted in. And my question is, and you can do that, we can move down a road that we're not actually doing the exact form. And this is what Madison explained to me on this. So she agreed that it would be a very good clarifying part to this. And I don't want to just blindly go forward. I'm not disregarding your knowledge of it, what you interpret it as, but there is a different interpretation of what form of government we should be implementing into Ogden Valley City.
And I think we need to respect that people are learning this and ask, what is our timeline? We don't know what money we have yet, so what is our?
We have a budget adopted.
We know our money.
On the skinny budget,
Well,
yes.
here's what we do.
That's, we're working on that, but I'm saying, I think we should respect Chad, it's time to learn this, to get his answers through the attorney. So this is a big step, so we move forward in the right direction.
I'm sorry, did you finish? I'm sorry.
I can.
Okay, so I'm hoping I can shed clarity. It was on the ballot. What won was 6-member form. That's it. So if there's a question of what form of government Ogden Valley City is, it is the 6-member form. That is what was voted on and passed overwhelmingly. Then you can go into the code, which says it in legal form, or in the book, which says it exactly the same, but in more layman's terms. And it describes exactly what powers and duties are the mayors or the councils of a 6-member form. All the information is available. I can sympathize if people are still confused on it, but it's very, very clear what it is. It states it in black and white. And so I think we owe it to our residents to create a functioning government. I think we've all pretty much, maybe not a full unanimous decision, but there's been a lot of talk of it not being functional right now. We are 6, 7 months in, we have an adopted budget. I think that part of our job is to provide this, the city with a functioning government, and that, we've taken expert opinion on how it should be, and it is literally in line with what the statute is. We have not been behaving according to the statute, that is correct. And we did that for a number of reasons, but it's time, in my opinion, to actually get in line, streamline the organizational structure so that we can go after whatever our top 3 priorities are. When everyone's siloed across the board, no one even knows what everybody's doing, but at the same time, no one portfolio is really taken the head. We need to be focused on what are our top 3 things we want to make sure we're doing. And that way, when there's this streamline of responsibility, we can make sure that that's what's being prioritized.
And I think Chad should have some time to get there, and I think that our urgency is taking steps. And when we move fast, we make mistakes. You know, we've been moving fast for 7 months now. So I say, and somebody's getting back to him soon, so what would be the harm in waiting for that? I mean.
This has been on our agenda for months.
I know.
So at some point.
Yeah, but are we at that point, or can we?
It's been.
I'm ready to make a motion.
I don't think it's been as hot topic as it is right now because we're working on everything else. This is a newer topic as far as the organizational chart, for sure. It has not been on for months. It's been a hot topic within the last few weeks, and it's been a new topic for us to narrow in on and get it figured out. We had moratorium, we had ordinances, we had a general plan that was the hot topics prior to that for about a 6-month period. So say this has been on there for a month, I don't agree with that. And I'm worried about the rush of it right now, when hopefully by tomorrow I can get an answer on this and we can move forward with that. And I think rushing it is not smart based off of the urgency feel right now.
When will we vote on it?
Sorry?
When will we vote on it?
As soon as I can get clarification, I would think,
No, it will be August.
Sorry?
It will be August.
Well,
We will not have another meeting until the 2nd or the
4th.
The
3rd
fourth.
or 4th.
Okay.
So what's?
I frankly, our responsibility is to do the work of the people. And we have authority here. We have attorneys sitting here, and this is the form they recommended. This is unanimously. And I think we owe it to our public to call a vote and move forward. I therefore move to adopt resolution number 2026-45. A resolution adopting the Ogden Valley City organizational structure and authorizing the preparation of ordinances, personnel, materials, and other measures to implement it. I also want to modify the language to recognize Councilmember Dooling Baker's concern and to insert into section 3 after her highlighted statement, subject to advice and consent. Now realize this is only temporary responsibilities, and we all have the ability to say, no, I don't have the time or skills to do that, but it's fine, we can do advice and consent. So there is my motion.
For the amendment,
Sure.
you have not designated which org chart.
Thank you. I propose org chart number 2 are the same, but I think I'm not seeing the charts now. Let's be clear and put it up on the screen. Thank you.
And if we're worried about titles, we gotta make sure we're clear on that, because, you know, we say a placeholder and then the next thing you know, it becomes. That's what we're hiring, so we gotta be clear, administrator versus manager are 2 different things.
They both say administrator.
We have a motion on the table.
Okay, and I am responding to what's called Group 2.1A, City Administrator. That is the chart, and my motion is amended to specifically adopt 2.1A as our organizational chart.
Is there a second?
I second.
We have a motion on the table from Councilmember Hoagland and a second from Councilmember Hickman to adopt resolution 2026-45 with the modification of inserting in section 3 after the highlighted line that it is subject to advice and consent. This is in reference to org chart 2.1A. We're going to begin on this side of the table. We've got Councilman Hickman. How do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Booth.
Nay.
Councilman Shaw.
Come to me at the end, please.
I get to vote, yay. Councilman, my first vote ever, by the way, we move me on. Councilman, you can't actually, with, it's Councilmember Hoagland.
Aye.
Councilmember, I just understood that, Councilmember Dylan Baker.
I'm gonna go nay until I can read the resolution.
Councilmember Shaw.
I don't see the difference between the two.
There is no.
Yeah. Yeah, they're the same.
Mhm.
I am going to say aye.
Okay, the ayes have it. It's a 4-2. Yes, 4-2 vote. So resolution 2026-45 is approved and adopted. 4-2. All right. It is 8:25. We have no call for a closed meeting. We move for adjournment, and those who stayed, you get rewarded with some cake. Hold on, I need a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
And a second.
Second.
I have a motion to adjourn from Councilmember Hickman and a second from Councilmember Hoagland. It is 8:25. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.